Round and round we go like a blunt in rotation.
What is up, y'all? Welcome to Blunt Opinion, where we're gonna be smoking and talking some shit about some shit we gotta talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I want to introduce the lineup today. We do have some of the people of the squad over at All Def Cannabis. Say what's up to Jordan. What's good, Jordan? Shout out to everybody.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
And hold up, y'all know I'm from New York, so I had to bring some New York swag in the building real quick. Marc Rain is in the building.
Yeah. What up, everybody? Manito.
Yeah, let's do this.
So before we go forward, what y'all smoking on?
I am smoking on...
I'm smoking on blue Skittles right now, and I'm going to mix it up with a little bit of some concentrate, so it's going to be lit.
Oh, you getting hot, sis.
She got that Zaza.
Yeah.
She don't got nothing on her schedule today.
Okay. Okay. I'm smoking this Ajo OG from my boy at SF Roots. Black-owned San Francisco Bay Area based brand. First social equity license holder in the SF area as well.
Nice.
So, you know.
Nice.
Y'all all fancy and shit. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I don't know what I got. My boy got it. I'd be like, let me get it, and I roll it, and I smoke it, and I get high. So
the nigga came with block work. Shout out to the block work.
Word, could be. I don't ask questions.
Not me. I'm working from home today, so I'm on my second batch of edibles. So
yeah.
Okay.
Plug
it.
Yeah,
these are pink peach rings.
Your second batch of edibles in a day?
Not in a day. I would not be here. But
okay,
I was about to say,
sir, let's talk. Let's just have a moment.
I'm on my second, but
what are you running from?
Okay, there's some shadow work that needs to be done.
There's some shadow work that
Did you use the energy from the full moon correctly, my G? Okay.
Tell them, Jordan. I got some black cherry gelato from the block. I ain't even gonna hold you. I was trying to get some like za, but let's see what happens here.
I have a question. How difficult is it to get weed in New York? Because it sounds like it's a whole thing every time.
Well, it sounds like it's a debacle every time, right?
It's not difficult to get it, but if you're looking for the za, then you might have to go certain ways.
Yeah. But
you can get it anywhere. That shit is down the block. That shit is around the corner. Shit could be upstairs. It could be downstairs.
Okay.
Every time you gotta get the Zaza, you feel like you're on power. Yeah. Come up to the third floor. I'm on the third floor. Now we move to the roof. Oh, we on the roof now. Like, yo, I'm in the roof. Where else I gotta go? It's like, yo, my fault. We don't got it. You gotta go to someone's. Like, come on, bro. It's a power episode.
Hunt for the Zaza.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. You gotta go to like the weed events. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just said it on my mouth, Marc. We just want to make it to the weed events, which now is pretty consistent.
Yeah, them shits is like every week, if not every other day.
Almost like every day there's a different pop-up. So shout out to everybody. You know what? And you saying that's gonna bring me to the topic of the day. So what is it being an influencer, guys? Like, do you even like being called an influencer, and what is it like? How are you guys navigating through this influential world and getting paid as entrepreneurs and branding yourself and connecting with these companies to show them that you as a content creator are beneficial to them? So let's start it off.
Yeah, no, it's been a little bit difficult for me. It's been a challenge because I consider myself an actress and I consider myself a host. Like, I've been acting since I was a child. I'm classically trained as a singer as well. So on the side, I do also, help build some brands and, I'll post a couple things, but I don't want that to ever just put me in a box only as an influencer, and then they think that I don't have any other skills or I don't have a degree behind what I do or any other experience within this media industry. You know what I'm saying? So it's just been a little bit difficult. I don't mind being called an influencer, but that's not all that I am either.
Amen. Like I definitely agree, because like recently I mean, Rose and May, like I quit my day job because I was already creating for like brands and apps on the side, like, and getting paid like small amounts for my content. But then I realized like I could actually turn it into like a sustainable source of income because I provide a service that a lot of brands need, and like really educating these cannabis companies and brands that like, I'm not just like, I hate the word influencer because like for me, influencer has become associated with, to be honest, in the cannabis industry, like white girls in bikinis taking pictures with Jays on the beach. And there's so much more to cannabis. So for me, I create content that's still fun and like lighthearted, but like engaging and educational is like my goal. And like May, like I have a very intense background in corporate America. I used to work for Barney's and Neiman Marcus, and like I used to sell the brands that went into the stores. Like I used to sit in meetings with buyers. On top of like I've worked the selling floor, I've worked distribution. So like I started consulting for companies as well as like for their infrastructure too, because I'm educated on all this stuff that as like the weed industry is becoming corporatized, that they need to know how to do, because a lot of these companies are putting up a front like they're ran like, in this beautiful elaborate way, but really it's very like Wizard of Oz, don't look behind the curtain, it's a mess back here. So I'm trying to do like as a content creator and as a businessman to help these companies from like the inside out, and to make them realize like any marketing money that you have, you shouldn't be spending on white girls to take pictures of your J's, in a bikini.
I will say too. Oh yeah.
No, sorry.
No, I was about to say, I will say too that another thing that, and I've always referenced this as well, and it's, you can probably go and find it, but there's a specific award show that, a lot of people typically watch, but their red carpet was hosted mostly by influencers. And that was one of the worst red carpets I'd ever seen in my life, because they didn't know how to read a teleprompter. They didn't really know how to speak to people. They didn't have that like personal type of skill with them. And so that was kind of like an issue. They didn't even know, certain technical things that you're going to be hearing in your IFB whenever they're telling you to cut to or speak to or do something like that. So that's also why I try to make sure that I mitigate that issue and make it very clear that I am also a host. I am also an actor. I am a producer as well. So
thank you.
Exactly.
Thanks. Love it.
What about you?
I definitely resonate with y'all on that. I too come from a trained background. You know what I mean? I have a bachelor in theater, and I've been doing this since 2010. And so when content creating became a thing, I didn't even want to partake in doing skits, to be honest. I was like doing, I was focused on theater, film, and TV. I was like, nah, I'm not doing skits. Like, what's that? It was so new. But, a lot of my friends, including Rose, were doing it, and I would help them do it. Johnny too. Shout out to Johnny. Huh? Shout out to the Have a Good Night crew. But, after some time, I was like helping them shoot, helping them edit, because I have experience filmmaking. And I kind of felt the same way. It was like, well, I don't want to be put under some social media influencer box. I never let anybody put me in a box ever. You know what I mean? That's why I do so much. And so I guess I was kind of fighting against it. Then I started doing skits. And then I was like, you know what? Well, you really can't fight the future, and it's so brand new that we're all still kind of figuring out the proper way, of approaching our art, merging with this new form of entertainment, because it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? And so I had to like learn how to accept, what was becoming, and then figure out how I was going to add my flow. Like how do I live in my flow though, with my integrity, right? Because I'm not gonna give up pieces of me just so that I could go viral. Right.
Amen.
Like for me, that's a part of it. So I took it to heart. I'm like, oh, I'm an influencer, bet. So I mean, I've always been conscious in my artistry to begin with. I do everything that I do for my own purposes, you know what I mean? That are like, so, but that's a whole other conversation. But I wanted to bring that and let that live on social media.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I wanted to bring that and let that and kind of also have that on my social media presence. So that's why, when I do my content, I make sure that, let's say if I'm doing adult humor, you know what I mean, I graze the line of sex. Like I'm not exploiting women. I don't want to have, girls in their, undergarments. You know what I'm saying? Just for the sake of views. I want to be able to make this. I want you to think of sex, but also laugh. You know, because it's actually funny. And so that took a long time for me to find that balance, because what I was used to, what I thought was, what I know is good as far as production, right? Like filming, like film, theater, TV is so different than skits. Like what people like on social media, it's like you don't even still today you don't know what they're gonna like, right? Like
now we're gonna get back to that.
you may like drink the cranberry, ride the skateboard, and then you're an influencer, and shout out to Dogface, right? Like that's what he did. And so it's this we have to like really find this bridge in this new industry, or space in the industry. And so I've learned how to accept it and just put it into my art online, on my skits.
Good. No, I appreciate that. And I see
and
that.
I think people feel that.
Yeah. What about you, Ivan? How do you want to be called an influencer? Do you feel you're an influencer? Because I'm with May. I don't really like the word too much because of how it can box you in. However, we are influential individuals. We are influential people. Maybe we can change the meaning of that. Like, what is your journey with that word?
No, I believe even if we like it or not, we are influencers. What happens is the influencers that got the chances that we were looking for weren't as prepared as us. For example, you see what Marc says, you're drinking cranberry on a skateboard. Now you're an influencer, and it's always been the same issue. The industry is out of touch with us. They never know what's going on down here. So now they see this guy get a bunch of followers. They call an influencer. They bring him up, and he can't even walk a red carpet. He doesn't even know how to interview anyone. All he knows is the skateboard and the cranberry. So those people kind of mess it up for us, and that's why now we kind of feel a certain type of way because we bring more to the table. And it's like, I don't want. My fault. It's like, why didn't we get that chance? Because I could have been better at it. And now it's like, man, I don't want to be an influencer because it's like this is the type of things that I don't want to be influenced by. Like I that's not me. I'm not just a cranberry and a skateboard.
Right.
I can host.
But you made a good point.
I could host. I could interview people. I could produce. I could hold a camera. I can edit. So all that is kind of baxed out. It's like, all right, this guy does this. That's an influencer. We'll have him passing Fast and the Furious with the skateboard.
Because he got views.
Because he got views.
Yeah.
So I feel Marc when Marc says, I respect acting so much that when I even write or do anything, I kind of give those people, the actors, their shine, because it's like these people take classes. It's hard. There are a million of them fighting for a little scene for one line. And here you come, no experience, no nothing. You get the shot that Marc is working so hard for, and you fuck it up. Now Marc is an influencer. It's like, not influencers been fucking this shit up since day one. Now he doesn't get the chance on both sides. So when we're called influencer, it's what we are. But a lot of people have messed it up so bad that we should just go by content creator, which is kind of what I say all the time. Like, hey, what do you? I'm a content creator.
I mean, the thing about it though is we are also, sorry, I mean to cut you off. The thing about it is we are also influencers, like you said too.
Right.
To your point,
Right.
I mean, if we are actors, if we are hosts, the whole point as an influencer is to influence change. And I think also with us working in the cannabis industry, we're trying to change the scope of the cannabis industry from education to the images that we see, and like bringing a little bit more or a lot more voices, bringing that to light as well. So we are influencing change, but like you said, there are those people who come in with little to no experience, and they do kind of, they can ruin things.
Go ahead, Marc.
I was just gonna piggyback because I definitely don't want to like bash those that have found success, right?
Bash them. They didn't deserve it, Marc.
Say their names.
Because look,
expose the girl.
Because look, it's a new world, and again, we can't fight it, right? We have to just try to understand a little bit more and then add our energy into it and be true to ourselves. And a lot of these people, that's what they do. They're true to themselves. They only know how to be themselves, right? They don't have any training or experience, and that ultimately is what puts him on, right? He was on a skateboard, drinking his juice in his vibe. He was being himself. Boom, landed whatever he landed, and people just like that. I think when you say they messed it up, the ones before us, maybe with a greater following or whatnot, I think what you mean is that we don't really want to be associated with the term influencer because it makes it seem, you know what I mean? Like
it's a free for all.
Like there's like a negative connotation with it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I feel like it's almost up to us to kind of like
shift that
reverse that. You know what I mean? Show them that, like, you know, and then in that way influence those influencers to be better influencers, right? Because we're like I like what you said, because when I made the decision to be an actor, the whole point and the whole purpose is to influence, right? To change,
right?
Like to give people perspective, right? That's our art. In every different form, writer, painter, photographer, host, right? You're hosting, you're interviewing, it's to give perspective, right? To get perspective. And so for us, it's a lot deeper meaning, maybe than those that maybe didn't even think of doing this. Kind of just happened, right? This app came out, they were like, shit, I could record, or I could throw a filter, or I could just, you know, or people fuck with this, that's cool, you know, and then almost inspire them, influence them to go a little deeper, maybe take some acting classes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe do this, maybe do that, right? Or put you or want to work with you, collab with us in a way that they can't, right? And so I feel like it's you know, because they didn't think of influence when it came to them, right? And a lot of them are like, you know, and a lot of them will be like,
they're thinking about the money.
Right. It's like, I don't really care. Like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna get what I'm gonna get. Right? And the thing is, like, much like no response is a response. You know what I'm saying? No conscience to your influence is an influence. You know what I mean? Your people recognizing they're gonna, you know what I mean? They may not like, they may not, might want to give a fuck either, right? They want to walk like that too. They want to like, and we really have to fight against that on this world because there's too much of that.
Facts. No, that's a point right there. That was a small sermon right there.
Okay, look, I was like, hold on, let me light my J again. Right, praise up to that, amen.
So,
like,
let the church say amen.
Amen.
It is 1 o'clock or edible o'clock for
on, baby.
Okay, when I tell you, I felt that in my spirit.
I appreciate that, Jordan.
Did you take an edible already, Ivan?
I have 2 edibles already in me.
Look at his eyes. Yes, he took an edible.
Look at my nigga.
Oh yeah.
You go like this.
Look at this young man.
Right. Look at this child of God.
This is a happy face that no one knows about right here.
I love it.
Jordan, I want to know, you made that transition because you saw that you can influence people your way, and instead of working for someone else, work for yourself and build and bring other people in as well. And I like that. Have you experienced a brand that you felt, which I know we all have, doesn't really represent us, and they're just now just trying to jump on the wave?
Oh, I actually just had I have to email a brand today, later today, that I've already had a couple meetings with, but I just didn't vibe with them 100%, and like I could feel it. Like literally, like I went to an event they did just as a guest, and I just shot something like while I was there.
Tell me later about this one, Jordan.
Oh, I got you. You know who it is too.
Okay.
You know the brand. And you know, I went to their event. It was really cool. Like it was actually a really fucking cool event. But like after my initial like talking to them the next day, and then like when I had the meetings with them, I could kind of feel like they didn't really align with like me personally and like my goal. And one of the main things was like I brought up something to them, and I'm not saying like, because like I invite you to like participate in something, whatever, you have to, but like the way like they just shut down like the whole, like I was like, oh, you know, I was like, I'm working with my homegirl, we're doing these events or whatever, and it was just like, oh, we don't do that. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I was like, well, we'd love for you to still attend, like you don't have to participate. And it just was like glazed over. And even when I mentioned to them in my like full-blown Zoom meeting, I was like, you know, I'm a very inclusive person. Like I'm working with several other brands that do the same thing. So I'd love to find a way to cross promote and stuff like that. And once again, like that whole kind of thing was just glazed over. Whereas with all my other clients, everyone is like, yes, we'd love to partner. We'd love to be connected with other brands, you know, even if they do the same thing. And I just didn't get that from them. And then I also just got like a couple other like words too, like around the industry, like, you know, maybe you shouldn't fuck with them. And I was like, all right, like my gut feeling said it. So, you know, like I gotta be like, you know, peace, love, and light to y'all. But unfortunately, like I just know that I can't take you on as a client for myself right now. I'm more than happy to refer you to some other people that may be willing to work with you and like give them the heads up too, to be like, hey, like I just don't vibe with them personally. Right. And like that's just that. But you know, still wish them success and everything. And that's okay. Like, you know, maybe those people come around, or, you know, maybe they just continue to do their own thing. But one thing I've come to terms with too is that, especially within the industry, and like I love that Marc made this point too, and so did Ivan, about like with those other creators, even like the people who've gotten those opportunities and, you know, may have quote unquote fucked it up for us because they aren't like multifaceted in other areas to host the red carpet or whatever. Right. You know, like I have to feel the same way about different companies too that may not want to collaborate or be as inclusive, or like, you know, as long as they're not putting any bad negative energy out into the world or towards me or the brands that I'm working with, like we all can coexist in this industry and we can either work together, or it could just be we don't fuck with each other, but it's no bad blood. Right. Just because I don't fuck with you, just because I don't like what you create, or I don't think you're a, you know, like I don't think your content is interesting, it doesn't mean that I hate you. I might not know you from the person down the street, you know? So the fact of the matter is just I'm like, oh, I don't like what they do, but they might be cool people or whatever. Like I have friends that, you know, I've made friends with girls that are OnlyFans chicks, and they're the sweetest people in the world. Do I care for like the content that they put online? No, I don't care that, you know, that about their bikini pictures on my timeline. I'm like, that's not really what I prefer to see, but I know as a person, they're cool fucking people. And even though that's not my field, for what they are doing, that is their field. That is what makes them money. That is their job. So you have to, at some point, you have to learn to take your like your personal feelings out of things, and, you know, understand that people can have creative differences. People can have different views, you know, and they can still be decent, cool human beings or whatever the case may be. And you don't have to you don't have to wish any negativity or ill will towards them, because at the end of the day, that's just damaging the industry. And I only want to work with people that are cool and inclusive, and that want to help uplift one another. Like you said, like that's the best part. Like May knows I'm connecting her with, I'm like, I don't know where to point because I'm like my hand, but anyway, like, you know, I'm, oh, this one?
Forward. No, the other one. There you go.
But like I have one of the companies that I'm working with is a social equity program that connects brands to actually get the same access to the resources that the bigger companies get, and that they, like small brands normally wouldn't get, and connecting them to resources. And they're looking for, you know, they were like, oh, we need somebody that's a writer potentially for like another show. And, you know, lo and behold, we were at a Pride event recently, and I was like, oh, and she was there, and I was like, I was just talking about her on the phone, like, y'all have to meet. Like, I was like, so for some future endeavors, you know, just making those little connections to be like, oh, I know someone, and, you know, you may not work today, like, but you guys will work together in the future. And like, just being that
definitely about making that connection.
Yeah, and just being that type of person. There are so many people in our industry, which is so cool. And I found like my space is somehow being like a conduit and a connector of all these people, because they need, like, you know, I was just on a phone call before this with a brand, and I was like, hey, like, it'd be great if you guys sent us all like some A's and some J's, and we just did like, we do Blunt Opinion, and then it's hosted by this brand. You know, they just smoked us all out for the day. And they're like, yeah, we're definitely interested in that. So like little things like that, because these companies need that on the marketing and the content creation end versus, you know, versus like lackluster content. from like, from the influencers that we're trying to take the narrative back of the word influencer.
So basically, put yourself out there and encourage everyone to actually reach out and educate these companies that have the funds and budget to put people like us to show a different side of influence.
I think we could go and even right here start something, right? Take it a step further and just say, let's get more specific in our influencer industry, right? And let's get more specific, right? Because like you said, the bikini, that's a different type of influencing, right? So why would that be in the same, group of people that do skits, right?
Right.
So we have to get more specific with this industry, right? And maybe they should be, model influencer, right? Boom, she falls into that. Writer influencer, host influencer, actor influencer, skit, you know what I mean? Like, because then the more specific we get with that, then somebody could, and this could be $1 million idea for somebody, then they could create like this database for influencers, right? So that companies can go specifically for what they're looking for. If you make apparel, then you might want to target model influencers. You know what I'm saying? And so forth and so forth. But nobody has done that yet. Right now, we're all kind of under one umbrella. And that's kind of like, we're like, chill, get away from me, get away from me, get away from me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, for real. Like, I started as a dancer and like,
which you're so good at.
Thank you. I mean, but that's what I did. Like, I'm a professional dancer, and I've been doing that for like 8 years now. And that's like my background, But I, the entire time, I worked full time in corporate America while still training as a dancer. But I know. But I know my thing is I always look for ways that I can connect dance back to any like campaign that I'm doing, like when I create for a company. So like, but also like I love to cook. I went to culinary school, like all this stuff. So I'm like using my different talents to like for what I do with my company is.
You gotta make me something when you visit.
Oh, I got you. So like what I do with my company as a creator is I create content for all the different brands that I work with, and I create concepts based around like what I want to do and what I know would be interesting incorporating their products into it to show people and educate people like, this company makes edible chocolates, but it's not just for making just eating the chocolates. Like you can make pancakes with these, or you can melt them down into like a chocolate sauce and like dip strawberries in them. Like, teaching people little things like that and how to incorporate them into their day-to-day life, thus educating them more on the different options that, cannabis comes in, and then creating more of a community of people who want to use cannabis. So like thinking outside of the box like that, like you said, like different types of creators and influencers, because like, but I started as a dancer. So I know like for streetwear, for example, like if a brand comes out with fire merch, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make a dance campaign to show off your merch because like streetwear looks good in motion, like I'm gonna create a lifestyle type of dance video off of that. So teaching these brands, like it's actually better to think more outside of the box and be multifaceted with your cannabis versus, just playing it safe or, going with like what they see the most on the algorithm as like performing. But it's like, even though it's performing and you're getting eyes, are you getting actual return on investment? Are you educating? Like,
Yeah, what about you, May? I've seen you post a few brands. Like, what is your experience? How did you even get them to send you something? Did they just see your work? Maybe did they catch a video? Or did you how do you get brands to send you things?
So
and
sometimes
then money also, because then there's receiving merchandise as an influencer, but how can we take it to that next level? Ivan, I'm gonna want to help. I'm going to tap in with that after.
Yeah. For me, what I used to do was so I've been working in the industry off and on since like 2017, and then I did reach out to a couple brands, but eventually they would reach out to me. I would meet a lot of brands at events. Honestly, what's really important is networking, making sure that you're out there and networking, make sure that they see who you are. For me, I'm a media person, so I grew up and I always saw like Black women just looking, just toe up and not being able to take care of their kids if you smoke too much weed. And it's just, that's not the narrative. But I knew that in order to change that, I had to step in it. I had to also become, you know, what I wanted to literally see. And so I just say that to say, it took me a long time, but I had to reach out to them and just be more comfortable and confident in myself and reaching out to them and doing this content. Because as you see, you can get shadow banned. They're shutting our pages down. It's harder and harder to even if you want to be an influencer, it can be discouraging because you might get your shit shut down if you really want to go there. So that's just kind of a difficult thing.
Now I'm like, you know.
Yeah. So with sponsors, they'll reach out to me. It's almost like it's almost like when I receive an audition, they give me a full list of everything they want me to do, and what they want me to say in there in the tag. And typically, I can be as creative as I want to. They'll, you know, put down there like in the small print, you know, don't say these things, or maybe don't, you know, put this in there. But other than that, like, it's been a really fruitful journey. I'm not gonna lie though, I am chasing down an invoice right now. So that's kind of been an issue, but yeah, that's it. But I do love the experience, though. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a journey. I love it.
Well, like, what happened?
Oh, let me get my phone. Hold on, my phone going up. So, what happened was, oh, you saying while I'm chasing the invoice?
Yeah.
Well, let me make sure I'm okay. I'm chasing this down invoice.
We gotta share this.
Well, what really sucks is this was 420 content, right? And it's July is in 2 days, and I still ain't got it. Invoices, they typically take about 15 to 30 days to process, so we're past that at this point. I looked over my statements, noticed that it hasn't been sent yet, so I reached out to them. Hey, you know, just let me know what's going on. I noticed it hasn't been posted. Please let me know if maybe I entered in the incorrect information. So I just CC'd that again, or I forwarded again, you know, with the regular email thread that we had. It's been almost a week now, and I still haven't heard back. So that is kind of, like I said, the downside to it. It's fun to post and smoke weed on there too, but it's already difficult for people of color for us to get noticed, and it's even more difficult for us to get paid. So my mantra going forward is no more chasing invoices. And I'm just going to speak that into existence, but that also comes on the educational side as well, of knowing how to process your invoices and when to pay people on time. And while you're also using Black and queer folks, make sure that you're paying us the same amount that you're paying these white folks as well. Amen. And that's part of our problem too. So equality is one thing, but equity is another.
Amen.
That's a fact.
Struggling for paychecks.
Yeah, for real.
And I've like squashed, like, personally for me, like, what I used to do is, like, I would tag brands I was interested in, and I would make like last night I got like super high, and I was listening to Doja Cat. Same. I was listening to Doja Cat's new album, and I was like, oh, this song is fire. I was like, I have to make something to it. And like, I love fashion, so I make like little transition, like, outfit videos every now and then. That's so cool. I did one of those. That's fine. And I tagged like all the brands that I like I smoked and like consumed, like, to get to that level of high. And you know, and then
Make smoking some good shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
you see, like,
put that shit on.
Okay.
That's why I got my shades
like,
on. You heard?
I'm dead. So like that's how I used to that's how I approach brands sometimes. Or like, but a couple of these brands I'm already partnered with, but that's how I used to approach them. Is I would just tag them as something I would make and be like, oh, like, I like your products, and then I'd be like, I'd love to work with you, and you know, get somebody's email from there and set up a call. And I personally, for me, like, I squashed it from the beginning. Like, I talk numbers like straight out the gate. I'm like, all right, this is like what I do. Like, this is how much a one-off video costs. This is how much a package like for the month costs. If you want, like,
letting them know how much, like, you basically charge for your
yeah, I'm like, these are the rates. Like, let me know what works within your budget. Or like, if you are, and like the world's opening up. So like, I have like an events rate. I have like a content, like, monthly, like, package rate. And then I have like a consulting, like, content marketing strategy fee rate.
Marc, always have that on hand, always.
Oh yeah, look, all them decks is ready to go.
I don't know, like, I don't even know. like what my rates are. Like, well, like putting value on yourself is a little hard, you know.
It's a challenge sometimes.
One of my mentors, like, I highly recommend getting a mentor, like, honestly, like, and just being like super open and like honest and like humble about it. Like, I approach people straight out the gate that like, and they're all of my mentors are women, and like all women I look up to that are business women. And I was like, hey, like, I just want to be able to come to you like with questions, if that's okay. Like, if you need me to pay you, like, I can work that out as well. And just to be like, you know, what should I be getting advice on? And then I have another friend who's an entrepreneur, who's actually one of my photographers, and he gave me really good advice by saying, he was like, whatever you want to like price yourself at hourly, he's like, do that, and then think about what you do in a day, and like take out like the cost of your lunch. If you're leaving to go somewhere to like, you know, film a skit, like the cost of gas, he's like, take all that, subtract it, and then think of what you were going to charge hourly and add on top of it. He's like, because now you also have to think about, like, as a business person, like your taxes, and like, yes, you're going to write stuff off, but
listen, tax time beat my ass.
So like,
I didn't even do my taxes this year, guys.
This
is my first time.
Was that a confession for the feds? What are you doing?
It's a confession.
It's okay. We're gonna be sales sisters, bro.
I'm gonna do it next year. I know that that's allowed, so I don't think I'm going to jail. But you know,
yeah, you be straight. I know some people that ain't done their taxes in years, so you be straight.
Oh yeah, you know, my dad. He used to skip a tax year, so fuck it, right?
Yeah.
Something I want to add to the brand conversation is that, you know, because I like what you said also about like, you know, accounts being shadow banned, because like IG, they don't make it easy. You know what I mean? They're like fighting against it because they understand it's kind of like a black market for them.
Yeah, and it's the pages that I look up to too. That's what's really sad. It's pages that are run by black women as well. Like Can Occlusive, their page was shut down. Cannabis Beauty, her page shut down too.
Yeah, those just both came back recently.
They came back, but
like you're lucky if that happens.
If it comes back, that's a fact. And so they're making it tough, you know. And so like brands have to consider paying for the paid partnership advertisement so that you maximize your views, you maximize your exposure, and ultimately maximize your return on investment. You know what I mean? Because I got, you know, let's say I got 28,000 followers, right? So on average, I'm gonna get 10,000. So that's half. But you probably want all 28, right? So you get that, like, add that into the budget. You know what I mean? Like that should become a new thing, and that should be like almost mandatory, you know, because everyone wants to maximize the exposure for that, you know, and that costs. And have like different amounts, but you know, and I've seen it from especially like the major influencers with millions. They get the paid partnership advertisement, and you know they get a lot of hits, you know, and Instagram they want you to spend the money with them. They want a piece of that pie because they understand the influencers are making a lot of money out here and don't get none of that. You know what I mean? That's really what it's about.
That's a fact. Ivan, I want to get to you. I want you to answer this question because from the years that I've known you, I've seen that you have with the team at Section 8 is Ballin' and other people that you've worked with, you guys have been able to get some good contracts. Like, you know, we're not going to talk about money too much, but at least, you know, like a good amount that you guys are able to split with each other. Like, how did you get to that level that now you're getting a little more with these certain companies, like more and these other companies that I've seen you guys get big contracts from?
So it kind of it's pretty much where you want to go to, because, you know, like, for example, in the Latino market, which is horrible, we get paid half as far as anything. Like, you know, if I was to sell my page in the American market, you know, you're talking about $2,000 a post. And if you present that in the Latino market, they'll be like, that's not what's happening. So they like cut that by half, you know, and it's because they're not educated on how the internet works, how social media works, the power of social media. But, you know, that kind of works towards my advantage. But it's all pretty much numbers. For example, like, you know, you have my page, which has like 149,000. So if you bring that in, they're already winning. But we always think at like, what, Marc works with us, Rose work with us, so and so work with us. If you want other pages, we'll include that in the budget. And that's why when you see us work with other influencers on a promo video, those they get paid for.
Right.
So they're getting that one post of a 20 or 30,000 page based on buying my package. So everybody wins. So a lot of the times that they get more for less in a say. So that's how we always constantly been able to like, get these big promos. But mostly it's also because we turn down a lot. For example, it's like for let's we're in a we show. If you a lot of brands that will come to you, they don't care. It's like, hey, yo, can you promote this on my page? I'd be like, no, because I don't have that type of following. Mm-hmm. You don't follow me because you obviously know that I can't. This is just not my. It's more of my page's relationship and family, right? And then comedy. So a lot of people will come in and it's like, remember the roulette that came out in the pandemic? Like you send this person 20, another person 30, and this
yeah.
So you have people trying to pay, like, yo, how much you charge a post so you can promote them. Like, first of all, that's a scam. I'm not gonna take that money because my following is gonna know that I've been just posting these little scams left to right, and then that's my real follower that's gonna support you on your project that you say, you know what, I'm gonna rock the song. They're gonna leave. So a lot of time you have to take care of your brand.
Absolutely.
So, for example, we had Major World for about a year. That's a car company.
I remember.
So they were paying us enough. They were paying us to not promote no other car company. Like literally, like you're with us. That's it. So when we saw the budget, we was like, hold up. If they could get us and they could get a couple more other people without them even knowing, we could raise the budget. They're reaching a bigger market. So that's what we would do. Like, we'll say, all right, Ken is on the American market. He's one of the biggest. You know what, Ken, how much you charge for posts? We would include that in one brand, and then now they see Ken, and now next time they don't want to work with us, they'll be like, yo, the guy that I use, I want to work with him, and then we'll send Ken over there, and then that whole team wins. So that's why, like, a lot of the times we get those big contracts because we sell it as a team.
Yeah.
And
shout out to Ken Stars. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a big content creator here in New York. He's like
best in New York.
Okay, I'll check it out. No, but that's
my brother. That's my brother.
Yeah, work smarter. But I also like your point too that you said that whenever these brands reach out to this, why don't they also pay for the promotion as well? And I'm like, duh, that would combat so much of the shadow ban and the shutting down that we have to endure. Like because you're fully supporting us now.
Yeah.
So that was like a free from Marc, because if you use that trick to your advantage and let nobody know, because like that when they look at your promos, they'll be like, yo, Marc's promos do really good on the page, and they don't know that they have access to this. I've done seminars letting people know like you can literally start a business of social media in your house in a closet just using that promotional button. Mm-hmm. I was like, I use it. When you pay me for a video, I do your video. Once that video is done, and the next week, I put money behind it. You don't know about it. But if you go out there and tell Marc, who has a tire station, like, yeah, I promoted with Ivan, numbers is pretty good. Marc was like, all right, let me check out Ivan. I'll do a video for Marc, same result. He goes to Frank out, and it's like, you know what? Now you have a wave of people, and you're building your brand with people that, they trust, because now you come recommended,
Exactly.
Which is that. Like, for example, I don't promote, like on my page, you'll never see me like light up a blind or anything like that because I know the type of following that I have. But on my Insta story, which is another market, because you guys less number, there I promote anything because there I'm pretty much being myself, Now when I'm on the feeds and stuff, it's a character that I'm playing to entertain you guys. But and on the feeds is literally me, like, yo, I'm about to eat this edible, so and so gave it to me. I'll see you in a bit.
I'm glad that you made that difference in your story.
So, because I know that the market that I'm worried about, which is the older crowd, because my mom follows me, but my mom doesn't know how to go to the Insta story.
Yeah, you have a lot of
I have that market, and that market spends money, So I have to take care of them as well as me, but I also let everybody know, like, I don't pay my bills. So, if this is my lifestyle, go with it. And a lot of the time when y'all say, "Yo, that episode was dope," that that thing was dope, I be like, "How do you come up with this idea?" I be like, "This thing right here," So it's like it's behind all that, behind closed door. I am a smoker. I do, I like to chill with marijuana and Anna all together. This is my crew.
Okay.
This is my crew. So you have to also know how to protect the brand and be yourself.
Of course,
which is dope. Because it's like, for example, how much? Because I have a relationship page. How many times I don't know if I can curse or whatever, but I get these dildos companies like, yo, put that up, and I'm like, listen, bro, this is a family relationship page. I don't want people to come on my shit to just buy dicks and shit. Right.
Nah, that's a fact, brother. Absolutely.
And it's like, if you want, you could send me a product. Maybe my girl wants to use it, and we'll make a little thing about it, or or maybe stories. I found it, but I'm not gonna just post a post, be like, yo, buy him here, so and so, and put money behind that, because it's like, all right, now I got all these nymphos left to right, and I'm like, yo, it was just a post. I don't sell none of that.
Right.
And then I'm here being funny, and they'll be like, I thought this guy was, selling this. But regardless, you do want to grab a crowd from everyone, but also protect your brand, because a lot of time you forget what you're doing because the money is so good on the right. It's just like,
that's a fact.
Fuck it, that's a quick 800. I'm just gonna post it one day. Fucking, this.
No, get out of my brain.
Yeah.
Someone just
next thing you know, you got a brothel with sex toys. You be like, how do I end up here? It's crazy.
Right. The vision is important. That's why being conscious of what your influence is, like we were saying earlier. You know what I'm saying?
Always remember. Sorry, Mark. Always remember that if you get a brand. So if you say yes to a brand and you don't really have anyone there, that brand is gonna shit talk you all the way down. Like, yo, I promoted with Ivan, that numbers was horrible, that shit was whack, and I don't think you should go with it. And that runs faster than anything. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times you also have to know what you're getting yourself into. It's like, if you're not a gamer, don't be selling PlayStations.
Right. Thanks. Yeah, no, it's true.
You know how much I got every time I went to a certain
What if I sell PlayStation with a joint?
They were fucking
I raffle so much.
Nothing.
I can sell a PlayStation, baby. I'll sell it. I don't care. I'll sell it.
I'm like, let me go get my remote right now.
I'll sell pillows. I'll sell trap shit.
But that's the thing. Now you sold 4 or 5 PlayStation. You're really good at it. Next thing you know, you're the PlayStation girl. There goes your acting dreams. There goes everything else.
That's not true. Don't reject that. I'm a host. I'll still be multifaceted, and that's what we're talking about. I will do it all. Thank you.
That's true. So be it.
I've already manifested it.
Look, PlayStation about to start their own streaming platform. She's gonna be the lead on all the movies.
Speak that.
Word.
Thank you.
Nah, but you right. I got hit up recently.
Right here. We're going.
Yeah, Marc.
Word. I was gonna say I got hit up recently from somebody who makes clothes, and they were like, "Yo, I would love to send you some merch," and I was like, "Well, let me see it," because I can't just put anything on. And then one of them was like a Puerto Rico patch, but it had a revolver in the middle of it.
Ooh.
And I was like, it had like a revolver in between the P and the R, Puerto Rico. And I rock Puerto Rico heavy, and I'm all about it. And I go deep with that, but I had to turn it down because I was like, look, I was like, I like this thing over here, but honestly, like the guns, I'm not trying to associate that too much with PR because it's not the image I'm going for. You know what I mean? Like, unless it's the Young Lords, which was a Puerto Rican political, then I could rock with that. Yes. But just any old gun next to my letters, I can't. You know what I mean? Like, because now, like,
after that,
right? Like, what am I influencing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna put that on.
That's so important. Like,
yeah,
bro,
you can't.
Okay, guys, this is Captain Puerto Rico. That's his real name. He looks like the Puerto Rican.
That's my middle name.
Light skin, red shirt.
I've never seen. I didn't know.
Is your middle name Anthony?
Nah, I play a character named Anthony.
Marc literally added a new day for the Puerto Rican parade. Like this is
Yes.
the Puerto Rican
Shout
parade.
out to Marc for that.
I was like on my edibles. I'm looking at Marc. I'm looking at Rose. I'm like, yo, the Puerto Rican parade came already.
All day, baby.
They didn't even announce that the Puerto Rican parade was happening. What? We already in August. What's happening?
Yeah, no, thanks.
Yo, this looks like a Puerto Rican ass chat right now. We all look like a group of Puerto Ricans.
Okay, right. We look at mad light skinned up in here.
I'm like, this is so beige.
Hacho, yeah, no, appreciate that.
PR. Okay, come on.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you brought that up because just to speak on that briefly, I didn't know how that was going to turn out. I woke up and in 2 days, I knew that they canceled the Puerto Rican festival and the parade, and I'm from Spanish Harlem, and the festival usually happens here. Huh?
I heard an echo.
What's an echo?
Can you hear me now? Echo. Is it still an echo? There is an echo. Hold on, I don't know what happened.
I hear it as much now on my side.
Yeah, go on. So you.
But yeah, I woke up and my spirit was like, I got to do this. You know what I mean? For the neighborhood, for the culture. You know what I mean? And I put up a post. I put out a Puerto Rico Batman sign, and I had this vision of a skit that I wanted to do, and my idea was to walk the neighborhood and be the spirit of the festival for the neighborhood. Just walk the block real quick. And so it turned out to be bigger than I thought it was gonna be, honestly. I think about like 25 people showed up to my house, and then as we started walking, but I think by the end we started with one car with loud music. We had like 6 cars. We probably had over 100 people on 3rd Avenue, and you could see it in everybody's faces. I mean, it was just. It was really moving for me because I was like, wow, I didn't think, it was going to really turn out to be as good as it did. And, just to give you one example, this older man came up to me and he was like, thank you so much for doing this. And I was like, of course, this is for everyone. He was like, you don't understand, this is my last year. He's like, so you just gave me my last Puerto Rico parade experience. And I was like,
damn.
I was like, bro, you gonna make me cry in the middle of this shit right now? What the? But that's that influence, you know what I mean? And it inspired me to really create another day for Puerto Rico, and just to put that bug in, plant the seed. I'm already working on the next one next year for it to be even bigger and make it an official day. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
To be clear, to be specific,
look,
it's the
we're there.
It's the Boricua Excellence Parade. And I wanted to run with that because just to briefly talk about that, I feel like we have to start giving ourselves our roses.
Amen. No.
We have to start giving ourselves our roses.
Amen.
Amen. We do. I was there. Listen, guys, it was like
horrible. This is horrible because I think what Marc said. I said, "What happened? Is your last year too?" I was just like, "Don't say that."
I knew it. I knew somebody was gonna make a death joke.
I was like, "Don't say that," but it's good because it just turned out to be his last minute because it died or something. So either way, he's not coming back.
I'm done.
But I didn't say. I was like, "Don't say that. Don't say that."
It was
the edible talking.
It was beautiful that day.
There you go.
Oh, there we are. All right, welcome back.
My fault. I'm fighting battles in other realms.
I told him.
Trust me.
I told him you was probably in the island and the lights went out.
Trust me. Somebody didn't want me to say what I was about to say. No, but there's forces in other realms. I must.
That's right. Get them. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Left us as roses.
But we have to give ourselves our roses. You know what I mean? And I always talk about specificity, and the more specific we are in life, the more stronger that manifestation could be. And so, I ultimately want to get to Latino excellence and bring us all ultimately together. That's a purpose in my life. But I feel like I need to start micro. My people, my Puerto Ricans, I don't want to get too deep into the history between America and Puerto Rico, but it's deep and it's dark.
It is.
And you know what I mean? And so we always get like kind of left out, we always get overlooked and kind of shitted on, you know what I mean? And our parade got shitted on this year when I don't think it necessarily had to, but you know, I want to start there and give ourselves our roles to start with and up ourselves, you know, because the truth be told, like it's hard for Latinos to come together, you know, and that's across the board. And you know, I give kudos to Ivan Manito and his whole crew because they really, you know, the Dominicans, they come together, you know what I mean? And so I'm trying to do that for Puerto Ricans, you know what I mean? And I want to inspire everyone to not to rival with each other, you know what I'm saying? Like we need to actually, like I said earlier, like we need to work with each other, we need to pick each other up because we need more of that, you know, and
everyone, so, Black, brown, Latino community.
Right.
Yes,
and I want to inspire my brothers, you know what I'm saying, my sisters in the Dominican Republic to do, you know, Dominican excellence, you know, and every other, you know, person of color, you know, Caribbean that feels left out. You know what I mean? To big themselves up, you know, give roses to those that have successes before you, you know what I'm saying? Those now, you know what I mean? Get the ones ready for the ones that you know are coming up, you know what I mean? And kind of parade that. And so that's what the Boricua excellence is also ultimately going to stand for. It's just
I like that.
Thank you.
Shout out to you doing something positive in the community. We love that.
Okay.
Thank you. So I'm definitely gonna send y'all the invites. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, look, we gonna be there.
Hello, Marc, been positive since COVID.
You stupid.
I'm done.
I ain't never test positive for COVID, for the record.
Here,
but I think I did catch it back in early January 2020, before it was in New York. Before it was in New York, they didn't even know.
So you brought it here? Oh,
nah,
come on,
nah. Somebody gave it to me.
Don't do that, man, like that.
Marc went MIA. I swear to God, it was like COVID is happening, shut down. All of a sudden, the whole family is packed. They boarded up the windows. They put the doors with fucking ropes.
When it was official in March, we bounced to Puerto Rico. I'm not lying. I quarantined in PR for 4 months.
Go must be nice.
Well,
yeah.
Right, must be nice.
I didn't get the chance to because I was an essential worker majority of this pandemic thus far.
Kudos to you, man. Thank you.
Okay, look, I'm done. I got tired of that shit. She already know.
I left too. I'm out. We out.
Hey, look, it's like we said, it's the ex-baddies shit.
So.
I was just home creating content with my mom, and I was able to get like a really.
Yo, your mom, you and your mom are so funny.
Yo, yeah, she's hilarious. She's on vacation. She leaves me all the time.
You and your woke stuff when you be hanging from off that top of that ceiling, girl. What the hell? I love seeing
okay, Spider Woman.
About that right there. Ooh.
What? Like.
She gonna break the internet when she fall from there.
I'm dead.
That video is waiting to that viral video is about to happen anytime.
Don't say that. She's
gonna have it. She gonna post herself in the hospital. The rope broke. That's the hashtag right there.
But listen, about this
video coming soon.
Everyone asking, where do you get it? I feel like I need a check from Amazon.
Are you on the Amazon Influencers program?
No.
They can sponsor you for that.
Sign up.
I literally I actually have to set mine up because I literally was referring people through another app that I use, and I was like, I think I got some money up in here. I need to actually do this, cash this out. But it's super easy. I signed up back in October of last year, and then they approved me super quick too.
That's dope. See, those are the little things. Like you said, we just need to share information
before Amazon takes over the world.
I was just about to say that's the other thing is I know for me personally, and I would love to even I would love to have just calls like this more often to tap in with other creators, and just share resources and stuff too. That's just one of many things. I'm sure myself and everybody here knows different little, avenues and stuff to make an income. Just Ivan was saying, you can literally start a business, from your closet of just promoting it. And and there's so many little things and stuff that you can actually utilize and monetize in a positive way as well, and also still, just like Marc is doing, like build change that is like effective and positive for the community as well. And I think that's what's important that we're doing as influencers, to take the word back, and especially as creatives, to show people how multifaceted we all are. Like everybody on this call right now is a creator in more than two ways, actually, you know, which is pretty cool. And we all love cannabis. So like showing people the importance of cannabis and creativity, and also how it delves into all these other avenues and facets of life. That's what we're doing as influencers and creators. And I think that's what it's important that we do, focus on reclaiming the word.
Absolutely. Because I mean, like you said, there's nothing wrong with it if that's what you want to call yourself as well. But I mean, as long as you are working to influence change, I definitely think that's what matters, and making sure that you connect with one another. That is a beautiful thing. Because that's what cannabis does. I mean, we all smoke with each other, and it's just being in community, being in fellowship with one another, and just passing the joint, passing the blunt around. And so that's how it really should be in real life as well. And as we navigate this with Black and brown people, because there was never a space that was made for us. There's people who look just like us who are sitting in prison right now. So I love that we all just come together and like this. It's healing. I love it.
Thanks.
I love it. So good.
We gotta come together and light up and sight together.
I've always said
we gotta go over there. Y'all gotta come over here.
Oh, look, consider it done.
I'm going to New York first. Let's go.
Look, let's go.
Summertime in New York.
I'm working on my accent and everything. Let's go. I'm ready. We can do it. Let's go. What's up?
I need y'all to come over here. We got so much shit to show y'all, so much content to make. Oh my God. Like Jordan, I love the
Let's do it. Look, I'll look at flights to come in August.
We'll show y'all where the shootouts happen and all that. We gotta be careful.
I love the culture.
Hey, I love ghetto shit. Don't play with me.
We're gonna take you to City Island. And then we're gonna show you.
I know how to drop and roll real quick. Look, I know how to run in zigzags like a mother.
We're gonna get y'all fake chains. We're gonna get y'all fake chains. Put y'all in the block like, yo, in 5 minutes, they're gonna come for y'all. And how you feel about it? It's real. It's crazy. You could have died right there.
I'm gonna be in my freshest running Adidas. Okay.
No, they don't take them. Don't have something.
I'll be in my Nikes.
Listen, man. She gonna run away when it gets hard.
Okay.
She's out here. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Bitch, I'm out.
Okay.
And then she gonna grab a real quick.
Fun time. If you're not out running bullets, are you really having fun though?
Did you even
when I'm out in Dallas, it will always be a shootout. Every time I'm at the party, every time I'm at the club. But when I tell you I had the time of my life, oh my God, them still was still the best.
Did you have the time of your life? If you weren't scared, you might lose it.
Right, like. If you didn't take off your heels and run down the street, was it fun? Was it?
Like, did you even live though? If you didn't almost die?
But did you die?
Nope. So you live. You're fucking welcome.
Guys, this is amazing. We're gonna close it off. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys shed so much light and so much information that I think is needed in a discussion that we need to have. Everyone listens. Thank you to the All Def Cannabis team channel, All Def. Thank you, Jordan, Ivan, Marc, May. Guys, we're signing out. This is Blunt Opinion. This is like the best episode I feel like I've had. It was so educational.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Pull up.
Thank you so much, Black Rose, for having me on again.
Thank you for being the host.
You said 15 days, right? Coming for y'all in 15 days.
Let me not check.